I don't want to make it any longer unnecessarily. So I'm just gonna kind of go forward with it and say, I'm changing my camera. I know that doesn't sound like a whole lot, and technically it's an upgrade and a downgrade. How is it an upgrade? Well, it's an actual camera. How's it a downgrade? Well, it's a Canon 60D. I normally would be shooting on a Canon 5D Mark IV. It's not what I've been shooting on, I'll get to that in a second, which shoots in 4K. This camera is an older camera that came out in 2010, I believe, and it only shoots in 1080p. I know that doesn't matter to most people, but it does matter to the, algorithm beast. For those of you that are following along, just keep being patient because quality is coming. I'm also really trying out new styles and trying to figure out what the style of Rambl.n really is. So things might be a little different as time goes by. Yeah, essentially I've been shooting on my iPhone, which is an old iPhone XR. As much as it's great at shooting in a pinch at 4K, it's still a crappy phone camera. And it did what it needed to, but it stopped working. And the camera shakes. It's not the best situation, so we've had to upgrade while downgrade. So yeah. What else is happening? Well, I need to clean this car because I want to actually get started on the wiring and things like that. Also, I want to get the car out of the garage. And the only way to get the car out of the garage is to clean it and get it wired up and ready to go. What do I need to do? Well, the taillights have needed to be wired for quite some time. And if you watched last week's video, you'll know that I did get at least some of the wiring done, but I need to finish the wiring. So next week's video is probably gonna be me finishing the wiring, getting it plugged in, and getting the battery going so that we can get this car pulled out of the garage and get ready for, things like it needs a new clutch, it needs a new flywheel, I need to do spark plugs, little maintenance things, an oil change, all the stuff to get it right back on the road because it's been sitting for a few months. So there's inevitably gonna be a few things that need to be done. So I wanna actually start getting the inside of the car clean. I showed it before, but basically the trunk is a total disaster. So all of this stuff just needs to kind of come out. All right, so as you can see, it's not super bad, it's just a lot of stuff. All right, I'm gonna get to work on this because it's really hard to do with the camera. I'm just gonna put on a time lapse and then, yeah, you can see what I'm doing. Let me show you the inside of the car. It's honestly not that bad, but it also needs to be cleaned. So yeah, all the work that I had to do on the dash ended up making the floorboards really messy. I don't know if you can tell, but there's just like wood shavings and pieces of plastic and screws and bolts and crap. I had this car really well detailed before. So, it's just kind of a shame. I'd love to get new seats. So you can see these have holes. My steering wheel's an absolute disaster. Pretty ugly. I made these and I'm probably gonna cover the seats in this material as well. But again, it's not terrible, it's just kind of messy from, sawdust and crap like that, and the window's been open this whole time. So basically, it's not awful back here, but I got crappy Walmart tint in here. The steering column bit, it's just there's junk back here and it all just needs to get taken apart or taken out and cleaned up. That back window needs to get taken out. It's a mess. All right, so I went through the car already. The interior wasn't bad at all. It was honestly just mostly the parcel shelf. That was really the biggest issue. I'll show you what I did real quick. Alright, so that was a lot of work, but not really. Here's all the stuff that I pulled out. Here's the stuff that I have to work on, and then I had a little bit of trash that I won't show you because it doesn't matter. Alright, so I don't know if you can see this very well, but it's mostly my glove box, and and a bunch of tools and parts, extra parts that I'm not gonna be keeping or might be keeping, I don't know. So if you need Miata crap and you're in the Tennessee area, hit me up. So here are some of the things that I need to do on the car just to get it back on the road. It needs a new wheel bearing on one of the sides, and I'll probably get another one just to even it out, make it safer. And it needs a new clutch. I don't know how long it's been driven on a bad clutch, but it's pretty soft, pretty bad, pretty laggy. So I got a new clutch and I got a new flywheel because there'll probably be burn spots and don't want to use an old flywheel. So yeah, let me show you what I did real quick. Basically, it was just really messy. I did a really janky job cutting up this section, much like this one, just so that I can fit those housings. And you can still technically fit the original taillights in here. It's just gonna be, you know, there's gonna be a hole here in the metal that I cut off. You know, it can be replaced. It's just gonna be a pain. Oh yeah, so here's what I did. I pulled all that junk out you saw. But see, I still have a bunch of metal shavings and crap like that that I'm gonna need to vacuum out. So that's next. Also, I think at some point I wanna paint the interior here like a speckle paint. Basically, just this whole like trunk area, I don't really wanna use the carpet because it gets messy and it's annoying and it's easier to vacuum out metal. But yeah, so that's it really. Just clean this whole area out and then vacuuming it's next. I just still left all the nuts and bolts in here for the panels and all the other crap that I gotta do. And then let me show you the interior real quick. So again, I didn't do any of this crap. That's all gonna get vacuumed up, all this junk. But I wanted to clear out this rear parcel tray because it's kind of a disaster. And I wanna pull this because I have someone who wants to buy it. I don't even know if they still wanna buy it, but they want the frame. And even if they don't wanna buy it anymore, I'm gonna use this frame here to make a bikini top. So yeah, I like to keep the hard top on, but there are times where I want to take it off occasionally if it's like really hot or just a really nice day and I want to enjoy the breeze. I want to at least be somewhat covered because as you can see, I'm almost as pale as my shirt here. So yeah, redhead burns pretty easily. So yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to build a bikini top for this, so I'm going to need that soft top frame to do that. And you know, I'll show you guys how to do that obviously. But yeah, so that's really all I really needed to do the car. It's really basic. I just wanted to come out here today and finish that process up. So yeah, you know what it's like. You wake up in the morning and you haven't even made your bed yet. That's kind of how it feels like when I'm working on a car and it's just filthy and covered in junk. It's hard to be productive. You don't feel like, you know, you're really taking care of the car, and it's hard. So I prefer it being super clean. Obviously it's gonna get messy and that's normal and that's okay. I just want it to be clean enough that I can actually get in and do the projects that I want to do. So yeah, I'm gonna get to vacuuming it and then we'll go from there. All right, well, that was easy. Just needed a quick vacuum. That's what I love about these cars. They're so small that like a quick vacuum really is quick. I mean, it took me what, like a couple of minutes to vacuum out the trunk and the interior of the car. I feel like Ricky Bobby, I don't know what to do with my hands. Yeah, basically, that's all I did. I just vacuumed out the trunk because again, like I said, all those metal shavings. Here, let me show you. So yeah, I just wanted to vacuum out the trunk, get all those metal shavings out. You can still see there's a little bit, but the biggest issue was like I'd come in here and grab something and like I just ripped my hand on a little piece of metal shaving. I don't know if you can even see that, but it's too bright. But yeah, these basically, there's little metal shavings everywhere. Yeah, so it's not perfect. I mean, this whole thing's pretty gross anyways. When I bought this car, it was covered in rust and, or not rust, it was covered in water. And mold. This whole section I had to like actually wipe down like crazy, and you can still see there's some like oxidation here and stuff like that, but this was covered in mold, and you know, I did what I could to kind of salvage it and get rid of all that mold. It was inside of the sills here. Like I really detailed the crap out of this car when I bought it. Just cleaning it up, it really wasn't bad at all. Just needed a quick vacuum, and I can put my put this guy back in there. My Cars and Coffee chair. Yeah, so since that's done, let me show you the interior here. So
So yeah, I mean, it wasn't terrible. There's still some specks here and there. I'm not trying to get it perfect, just get it cleaner than it was. Wood shavings everywhere. Vacuum up this rear parcel, clean up the floor a little bit. Found some more parts stored on the floor. Things like that, yeah. So probably gonna work on the dash at some point, but not anytime soon. Just because, I mean, it's a lot of work that I have to do. I mean, you've seen it. I just gotta like lay down in this car. But basically, this piece of plywood, it's too thick. And so, like as you can see, like that's, you know, it's hard because this lens makes everything weird, but it's really just too thick. And I need to get a thinner piece because it doesn't sit perfectly inside here. The other thing is like, you know, this is ugly and it just, I don't want a seam. Like, see how there's a seam there? I don't want that seam. I don't want any of that stuff. So I want to do it nicer. This is like cheap plywood and I want to do it a lot better. So yeah, as far as the interior projects go, that's the main thing that I want to do. The dash is really bugging me. But what's bugging me even more is the center console. So I want to figure out what I'm even going to do there. But yeah, that's it today. Real quick video, just kind of wanted to get some things done, kind of clean up and pick up. And then I guess the rest is really just talking shop. So yeah, if there's really anything that you want to see me work on anytime soon, just let me know in the comments. I really do want to get in here and clean up this engine bay because it's getting pretty messy and there's a lot of things that I want to do in there. And just like today, you know, I don't want to work around a huge mess. So you know, I don't mind getting dirty, obviously. I own a car, and an old car at that. So, yeah, I just want to pick up and make things look a little cleaner. You know, maybe paint the valve cover soon, because, you know, I'm not doing anything crazy, but, you know, maybe paint it red like everyone does. But I want to do some, you know, a little bit more unique to this car, so maybe a little bit of patina and stuff like that. But yeah, so valve cover probably be coming up soon. I really want to get the car out of the garage. I mean, Cars and Coffees are going to start coming up soon now that the weather is a little bit warmer. If we can get to work on getting the car running, that'd be amazing because I miss driving this car. Plus, we can get a little bit more entertaining footage out of that. It's one thing to hang out in the garage, but eventually you start getting cooped up. So we're gonna try and get this thing up on the road. As you can see, you know, I got a small pile of parts that are waiting for me. Yeah, so I gotta do the clutch, I gotta do, you know, gaskets, little things like that. Spark plugs, the wheel bearing makes a ton of noise on one of the sides, so I'll probably take care of those. Yeah, nothing crazy. I eventually want to get an exhaust going on this thing because, I mean, it's stock, right? So it's pretty quiet. And yeah, so that's really it. So get the exhaust going. You just really basic things. Oh, I need to get a steering wheel for this car, but I just don't have the budget right now. So stock rot steering wheel it is. So yeah, this whole channel is probably gonna be pretty budget friendly, budget minded stuff. I mean, we are working on a Miata after all. Another one of the things that I want to do is the door panels. So they definitely have that vintage vibe. They're just missing something, and you know, you can see here there's like holes and stuff from the original parts and stuff, and it's floppy. It's got some water damage, things like that. So I want to take care of that. Probably cover up the speaker panel. I'm gonna rip all the speaker stuff out because I have no plans on putting a speaker system in this car at all. So yeah, just stuff like that. I'm probably gonna leave this part alone, but the rest of this I wanna get recovered. I'm probably gonna change this out, but I kinda like this idea of using this fabric, probably on this whole panel. Maybe, we'll see. It might be too much. And on top of that, like I want it to match the seats, and that's a lot of work to make the seats, you know, a totally different fabric. I'm probably gonna end up getting different seats, honestly. But yeah, as far as the rest of the video goes, I'm just gonna be rambling on here. So I'm gonna say goodbye, and I'll see you guys next week. So thanks for hanging out with me, cleaning out the car, talking shop, and see you guys next week for maybe another project that I can think up. Maybe help me clean up the engine bay and spray paint that valve cover. All right, so I'm just gonna keep on rambling if I don't sign off here soon. So thanks for hanging out with me while I clean the car. So I'll see you guys later, and see you in the next one.